Hello. Today I will be presenting on Acipincer oxyrhynchus, also known as the Atlantic sturgeon. The Atlantic sturgeon belonged to the kingdom Animalia, phylum Chordata, class Actinopterygeri, order Acipinceriformes, family Acipinceridae, genus Acipincer, and species oxyrhynchus. At the top right, you can see an image of a juvenile Atlantic sturgeon. At the bottom right, you can see an image of a fisherman who caught an adult Atlantic sturgeon on the North Carolina coast. To identify the Atlantic sturgeon, there are a few important characteristics you need to know. They have 5 rows of bony plates, also known as scutes, that run along its body. They have a long V-shaped snout. Typically, they are either bluish-black or olive-brown on their backs, with paler sides and a white belly. They have 4 slender barbels, which are soft tissue projections near its mouth. On the right, you can see an image of a sturgeon that has an olive-brown color to its back, with paler sides and a white belly. They weigh up to 800 pounds, and they can be as long as 14 feet. Atlantic sturgeons live on the New England, Mid-Atlantic, and Southeastern coastlines, coastal rivers, and estuaries. Presently, this species can be found in 32 rivers along the United States coast and spawn in at least 20 of them. More studies are still needed to understand their habitat and migration distribution. On the left, you can see the coastlines, coastal rivers, and estuaries highlighted in red, where the Atlantic sturgeons can be found. Atlantic sturgeons inhabit seabeds and shallow waters down to 50 meters in depth, and also in coastal brackish waters. They are bottom feeders with a diet of worms, crustaceans, mollusks, and other small fishes. Atlantic sturgeon can live up to an impressive 60 years. Sturgeons coexisted with the dinosaurs, and the Atlantic sturgeon in particular arose from the last ice age, which was around 13,000 years ago. Sturgeon jump out of the water during pressure changes in the water to gulp in air to maintain a natural buoyancy. Many threats exist today for the Atlantic sturgeon. 1, habitat degradation and impediments. 2, vessel strikes, which are common in the Hudson, James, Cape Fear rivers, and in many other rivers across the country. Fisheries interactions and bycatch. And they are a source of food to humans, such as caviar and meat. Atlantic sturgeon are an androgynous, slow-growing, and late-maturing species. On average, the female Atlantic sturgeon first spawns at 15 years of age, and then at 2 to 5 year intervals from then on. Atlantic sturgeon spawn in freshwater between salt front and fall lines of large rivers, but spend the majority of adult life in marine environments. Females can produce up to 2 million eggs at mature age and maximum body size, although most of those eggs don't make it into the juvenile or adulthood stages. On the right, you can see an image of the life cycle of the sturgeon. From the minute they are spawned, they become eggs. They then enter their larva stage. Then they enter their early stage juvenile. Then they enter their juvenile stage, and then finally into their adulthood stage. Sturgeon eggs are deposited on the bottom on hard surfaces like rocks or cobble, as the eggs are very adhesive. The eggs hatch between 94 to 140 hours after the egg is deposited, and those eggs typically hatch between 18 to 20 degrees Celsius. The eggs develop into larvae, and the larvae develop into the early stage juvenile. The juveniles typically remain in the river where they were born for months before migrating into the ocean. The southern populations of sturgeon mature and reproduce quicker and live to around 25 to 30 years, whereas northern populations typically have a longer lifespan. Here are my image and informational sources. Thank you.